Good morning friends, welcome to KU Padashala. Today I would like to discuss a significant concern of a student's life, that is preparation for a better career. Preparing younger generation for better career, that is my concern today. Unlike other presentations, I would like to give certain significant concerns that we have to take into account while preparing the younger generation for a better career. There are certain terminology that we know: employment, unemployment, underemployment, opportunity, job. These are some of the terminologies related to career. Employment is very clear, unemployment is also very clear. At the same time, there is another term, that is underemployment. We have to take into account what are the concerns and challenges of underemployment. Sometimes if you are qualified enough to grab some of the opportunities in higher level, but you may not be able to attain that positions. That is actually underemployment. So with this basic introduction, I would like to come to the main concern of today. Let us see what are the requirements of a better candidature. What are the requirements for a better candidate to compete in a job market? Yes, of course, knowledge of potential opportunities. As a student, as a candidate, we should know what are the best opportunities in the job market related to our potential. Similarly, the best practices we have to have. Once you know the best elements that is being practiced in the field, that will definitely give you strength to grab the opportunity. For example, if you are an accountant and you are dreaming to get a better position in another company as an accountant, so what definitely you have to practice, you have to go through, you have to see, you have to look into what are the best practices generally multinational companies or companies across the globe follow in order to practice their accounting procedures. So you have to prepare with certain accounting packages, you have to have knowledge of basic computer. These are the requirements, and this requires lots of preparation from the part of a candidate. Similarly, personal preparedness, you have to be ready for the employment. If you are going to be a teacher, you have to have the spirit of teaching, the spirit of management of the classroom. So this is what I mentioned here as personal preparedness. Similarly, professionalism. Every job, every profession has its own its own requirements, its own essential elements that we have to know what are the professional nature of that specific kind of job. Similarly, from various studies I have taken some of the aspects of a good candidate. What are the specific elements of a good candidate? Of course, if you are appearing for an interview, you have to show your potential employer what you can add value, what kind of value you can add to that specific firm, that specific institution. So that is through your expressions, through your answers to the questions and responses, you can showcase what is the specific spirit that is within you to strengthen the institution, to strengthen that institutions, what value you are having, that you have to highlight in the interview. Similarly, problem solving is everywhere we demand problem solving. So if you are a better problem solver and fast learner, this is what we expect from a potential employee. So whenever you are going to an interview, definitely they will ask for what are the courses that you have done so far. What are the, for example, these days we have many open online courses, massive open online courses. Have you enrolled for any massive open online course that is very specific to the job related skills? Similarly, attitude. So, attitude, when a candidate comes to an interview panel, definitely the panel can analyze what is the attitude of the potential employee through responses, through the preparedness, and the way of answering definitely help the panel to identify the attitude of the potential employee. Give your credit to the past experiences. There is a trend that we always blame the previous employer or the institution that you have learned, like your master's degree or your postgraduate diploma or training program that you have attended. Sometimes candidates have a tendency to blame, okay, they were not good, I did not get much exposure from my company, that is why I am shifting to this company. Actually, when you look into this element, why you are before this employer for a job? Because you have worked for 5 years or 2 years in another company. So, definitely we have to give credit to your past experience or your past institution. So, that is actually being evaluated by the interview panel. Similarly, dressing, definitely I do not want to expand more upon dressing. We have to be formal in dressing. Similarly, it is noted that when a candidate is attending an interview, after that he or she has to send a thanking note to the company that gave him or her an interview. So, I have seen many of the studies report that most of the companies, more than 85% of companies recruit people from the panel, those who have sent a thanking note to the company after attending the interview. Now, come to the potential skills of an employee. What are the potential skills that we should have when we attend an interview? Of course, computer skill. These days it is essential. Sometimes people complain, I was not having time to update my knowledge in computer. So, this is not an excuse actually. We have to take into account the concern of the employment and future prospects in employment. We have to learn the basics of computer, of course. So, the parents, teachers and even the students have to have a clarity in their mind. If you are preparing for any job these days, when we look into the nature of jobs, it is essential. Strong communication skills. That does not mean that you have to have a skill in English. It is required, of course, but communication, the companies take the communication, both verbal and non-verbal communication. If you are a social person, if you are a person who can initiate communication inside the company, definitely it is a plus point. Does not matter the medium of communication. It is the nature of communication that we have to take into account. So, developing communication skill is essential for getting a better position. Problem solving skills. Almost all the companies check the problem solving skill, especially when we take into private companies. They assess generally they assess the quality of problem solving, the level of problem solving of the candidate. Team player, you have to be a very good team player. Definitely team play or spirit of building team is essential for achieving better output. So, definitely this is we have to focus, this one is also we have to focus on. Intelligence of emotion, otherwise emotional intelligence, this is also required. Emotional intelligence comes as a significant concern these days, like knowing the emotions of others, managing the emotions, managing own emotions and act purposefully in different situations. That is what we meant by emotional intelligence. Now, see, the educational institutions prepare students for better employment through various strategies and skill sets. We know the 21st century skills. What are the major 21st century skills? Let me read out some of the major 21st century skills. Critical thinking. Critical thinking is one of the significant 21st century skills. Once you are very critical in your approach, that is a positive concern. So, how do we train the students in educational institutions? For training this, we have lots of programs. Institutions are organizing lots of programs for the student enrichment. So, as a student or as a parent, you have to ensure that my child is participating in all these activities. I am not sending my child to school or a college for getting the content. Content, of course, these days we get lot from the web resources. We have videos, even we have interactive videos. At the same time, mingling with class fellows, mingling with students in the college or a university or a school is very essential for developing some social traits. These traits are highly valued in their future appointment. Similarly, creativity. How creativity enhanced? How creativity is being enriched? It requires some specific situations. Schools provide generally lots of situations that gives opportunity to students to enrich in terms of their creative ideas. That is why we organize day celebrations, we organize seminars, cultural events and many more. So, we have to have specific concern on this 21st century skill as well. Collaboration. So, everywhere the success is based on a team spirit. So, how do we enhance the team spirit? Successfully, if you are able to collaborate in the classroom, you are able to collaborate in a peer group, that definitely is a sign of your team spirit. Once you are able to interact meaningfully in the group, definitely it will give you strength for leading a group, being a team player in the group and so on. So, this is also a concern why we are organizing lots of programs, leadership initiatives in the institutions of education. Information literacy, very significant, especially in this 21st century. We know that we are in post-truth era, lots of knowledge is being circulated and most of the people don't know whether it is right or wrong. It is very difficult to segregate the right and wrong. So, in this situation, we have to have a capacity of identifying the better media. So, media literacy or information literacy is very essential. How to select a specific website, what are the reliable sources of information, these are the concerns of media literacy and information literacy. Now, technology literacy. When you are dreaming to get a position in a company or you are having lots of ideas related to achieving some specific position after your graduation or post graduation, you have to have a clarity regarding the technological elements generally being used in that company. If you are a teacher, if you are dreaming to be a teacher, definitely many forms of technology we use. For broadcasting, we have technology. We should know the application, we should know the platforms for sharing the information and video, from where we can select what is Creative Commons and different licenses, different applications for resource development, different applications and software that we can depend on producing video, animations, interactivity, all these elements we have to have a clarity if you are dreaming to be a better teacher after your graduation or post graduation. So, this kind of preparation is essential. That is why the institutions provide lots of opportunities for the students for having an exposure in these areas. Leadership and flexibility. When organizes lots of programs in this institution provides for opportunities to the students for leading some to take the initiatives in certain elements, certain areas. If a program is being organized in connection with an Independence Day celebration, sometimes the teachers allocate or give opportunity to one candidate, one student to take the leadership role. You can be the coordinator, you can convene the meeting. So, when an opportunity comes, we have to take the opportunity, we have to utilize the opportunity to understand the challenges of the specific role as a leader. Accordingly, after getting your graduation or concerned degree, you can compete for a better position afterwards. Social skills, very essential, especially in 21st century. So, these are the basic skills that we impart in the institutions through organizing various co-curricular activities as well, along with the curriculum enrichment programs in the classroom and universities. How generally the schools and institutions practice these employability oriented skills? Knowing the psychology of the learner. Of course, we know that if 30 students are sitting before us, they are different in many sense: attitude, aptitude, intelligence, interest, temperament. They are totally different. They have their unique personality. So, we are considering each and every individual as unique in the classrooms. Why? Because we have to identify the specific talents of the students individually in one or the other occasions, and we have to give proper follow up. We have to give enrichment programs. Sometimes we have to give remedial programs for those who are not up to the level. So, through psychology we are managing the learners. Similarly, through technology. Why schools and institutions like universities and colleges use various forms of technology for interactions in the classroom? Because after completing the specific course or specific achievement, definitely they should know the basics of technology. So, technology is one of the support for the institutions to manage the student diversity. We have to have a clarity regarding the future prospects. There should be an analysis of the market. We have to link the market with the institution. I mean job market. The industry has to be connected to the institution. Then only we get an idea what are the attributes that the industry looks for as their potential employees. Then we can train the students in that way. That is why the accreditation process always asks for, do you have a linkage with industry? To what extent it is being practiced in the institutions? Because that is one of the key indicators of success of the program. Now, the opportunities other than the schooling and colleging. We have virtual learning, we have massive open online platforms. So, whatever is the significant idea, whatever is the significant concerns that you have to get an opportunity after completing your specified course, you have to learn specifically. Yes, I would like to be a teacher. Yes. So, I have to learn how to manage the classrooms. It may not be there in the institutions as such. So, if you come across some of the massive open online course in Future Learn or edX or Coursera, Okay, definitely, okay, I am joining this course because it is required for me to be a better teacher. If you are going to be a computer engineer, you have seen that when you go through the Udemy platform, okay, there is a troubleshooting course, it's a 4-week course. Oh, troubleshooting is essential. As a computer engineer, it is required for me to learn some of the significant trends in troubleshooting. Better identify some of the courses. If it is very significant, you can pay and learn. If it is not that much significant, you can identify some of the free courses. You can enroll for free. And these days, most of the service providers of MOOC and online courses, they give the courses for free. If you need certification, you have to pay. That is one of the significant concern for us. We have to go for virtual learning and online learning to supplement and support the learning and future preparation. Now let me give you some of the potential areas that we can enter into. One is cloud computing. Let me read out something. Cloud computing, artificial intelligence, sales leadership, analysis, translation. All these areas are having potential roles for us. We can enter into these industries irrespective of the discipline that you are from. A social science person can also enter into cloud computing. There are opportunities. So, we have to search for the requirements of the companies that work on this specific area. Translation is also one of the booming industries. Mobile application development. Sometimes the students have a single focus. In this century, if you have a single focus and if you are not up to the level, if you are not successful, you may not be able to go ahead with proper clarification in your career. So, what we require is that you can think more than one opportunities. Then if one is a failure or one is not that successful, you can opt the other. So, accordingly strengthen the career. If we talk about the 20th century or the late 20th century, it is okay, well and good if you are very pinpointed in one profession or one area. Okay, there are chances of getting employment after your graduation and training. It is not the case now. There are more experiments and research on jobs even. So, requirement is more, those who are having specific skill sets, they will be grabbed by the employers. So, accordingly we have to be very prepared for getting an employment. Similarly, we have people management, video production, audio mixing and production, user experience design. So, sometimes when we talk about all this you may get an idea that okay, these are something related to engineering, something related to technology. Not always. If you go through, there are people working from sociology background, there are social workers, there are people from management working in all these industries. Thing is that we have to explore the possibility. Another is search engine marketing, SEM, search engine marketing. This is a very good area. There is no requirement of much exposure in a specific technology. After your graduation in any subjects, for example, arts or science, you can go to that area. You can take some of the basic diplomas and certificates and training in search engine marketing, then you can get an opportunity over there. Thing is that we have to explore the possibilities. Similarly, blockchain, industrial design, creativity, collaboration. These are some of the industries. Adaptability industry. Explore some of these areas. Time management, persuasion, digital journalism, animation. Animation is not very new, but there are lots of developments these days. So, these are the potential areas that we can explore for getting more opportunities other than what we focused in. When you search some of the opportunities, you can find out the potential areas and potential requirements of the employers. Accordingly, what are the desirable qualification, what are the essential qualification? Look for the desirable and essential, then go for that. Go for acquiring that qualification. Essential, do you have essential qualification? Sometimes any graduates. Essential qualification, okay, you are also graduate, okay, you got the essential qualification. What are the desirable? Because if desirable qualifications are achieved by a candidate, they will be recruited for sure. They will be considered for recruitment. So, desirable is to be taken care of. So, if significant achievement in mobile app development or knowledge of mobile app development, experience in video production. If you have some of the videos in YouTube and you have edited, you have added some something to that, you could mix some of the videos with it. If it is to be highlighted and it is there in YouTube, definitely it is an added advantage for you. It is, you have fulfilled one of the desirable qualification. Accordingly, we have to work on. Related to teaching also, sometimes people have like, okay, very fluent in English, knowledge of computer. These are some of the highlights that people give as desirable qualifications. So, wherever you are, whatever you are dreaming for, you have to search in advance. It is not after completing your graduation or degree. From the day one onwards, whenever you are joining the graduation, for example, you are joining for BTech course in the first year, it is the first day of your college, begin on the first day, then only you will get the desired job. Definitely you will get the desired job if you have this kind of preparation well in advance. If you are the first year, you have to dream to get a position after completing. Okay, I have to go long way through my 4 years journey of BTech. No, it should not be the way. You have to, okay, now I am going to be a graduate, so what should be the traits? In what way I have to prepare for my employment? Then definitely it will be successful. This kind of preparation definitely students may not have. That kind of preparation and that kind of orientation even parents may not be able to give. They are not oriented in terms of this kind of idea. So, we have to, now onwards we have to be ready for that. Now, some of the other opportunities, social media based marketing, we have Facebook, we have WhatsApp, we have Slack, there are many, Instagram, many opportunities we have. So, that also can be taken into account. Sometimes as a second employment, as a supplementary earning, you can utilize all these opportunities. Let us see the website of Monster. You know the Monster is one of the job portals. So, they have highlighted the abilities or requirements of a potential candidate. One is problem solving, very essential. You have to think, are you a problem solver in your specific discipline? Data analytics is required, not for everyone, but for most of the employment, basics of data analytics is required. Social media literacy is highlighted. If you are not able to use wisely the social media, it will not be considered. You will not be considered for a position. Definitely they will even search the history of your social media use. Creative, if you are creative, some questions they will ask. What is your future plan? If you are appointed, how do you work in the company? How are you going to work in the company? What plan you can suggest for the improvement of the company? They will sometimes give a situation to you. How will you act in the situation? Resiliency, that is also another situation. Good business sense. Do you have a good sense of business? If you have a good sense of business, definitely the employer asks for the potential contribution of yours to the company. So, if you have a specific answer with you, definitely it will be a successful interview. And finally, willingness to learn. All the time we have to learn. If you are appointed, doesn't mean that you are safe in the company, especially if you are working in a private firm, they will update on daily basis. So, as an employee, you have to update your knowledge and skill sets. That is required. If you are an accountant, you have to identify the trends in accounting, basic packages in accounting, various advanced level packages in accounting. You have to try to learn, try to compare it with, suggest the employer to change your accounting package. Okay, now we have a Tally latest version. If you change the Tally latest version, that will be beneficial for the company. You have to learn it and you have to advise the company. These are some of the requirements of a potential candidate as mentioned in the website of Monster. Another study of half 2040, it is mentioned requirement of a candidate: basic knowledge of technology, communication, better communication is required, you have to be a problem solver, you have to have a capacity of basic collaboration among the team members, adaptability, multitasking and better use of social media. So, this is a study of half 2014. Now, multitasking. Most of the student community miss the capacity of multitasking, but at the same time in social media we read some of the successful stories of multitaskers from the student community itself. So, we have to train the students, especially my point is to parents. We have to give exposure to this kids or children to learn more about the opportunities and the challenges of life. Then only they will be a successful employees in future. So, that is a requirement. We have to give opportunities to the children to take part in the family affairs, in the financial management, in planning of the budget of the family, and of course, for earning, extra earning, you have to include your children into your family business. I am talking about the family business, that is the family budgeting, the day-to-day affairs of the family. We have to train the children how we are progressing, what are the requirements for a better family life. This is a basic lesson for their career preparation. Generally these days parents are not at all giving involvement for the children in the family matters. Let them learn, let them read, they are giving complete freedom. So, that is not always a good preparation for their better life ahead. Now, as a candidate, what are the requirements? We have to analyze the strength of candidacy. Sometimes when we attend an interview, we have lots of them. Okay, there is a political game, there are some recommendations. At the same time, what is on the other side of the coin? Are you competent enough? What are the missing things within you as a potential candidate? You don't have proper quality, you don't have proper qualification, you are not in a position to communicate properly, you are not at all a problem solver. Still you blame that there is a corruption, there is a corruption. Sometimes there is a possibility, but never go for blaming others. Better polish and strengthen yourself. SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities and challenges. It is a requirement, not immediately before attending the interview. It should be a long process. You have to prepare for an interview at least for a year. That is required. Then only you can take some of the skill sets and knowledge that is required for a better candidate. Always learn the advances, learn the trends. We know some of the professors and some of the teachers, they are teaching the same PowerPoint presentation or not, they are teaching from 60s or 70s using the same PowerPoint presentation or same notebook. We have to update, because on daily basis knowledge is being updated, theories are being added to the knowledge field. So, we have to have clarity regarding that. We have to learn more. We have to definitely the developed content is correct. It may be very valuable. You have to use it. At the same time, whatever is in the field new, you have to update it. That is why we are updating curriculum every year, because the new trends have to be learned, especially in the business schools or engineering colleges and universities. We have to update on every semester basis, because that kind of exposure is there for the students if you update the curriculum. Similarly, learn from the mistakes. We have to learn from the mistake. If you have attended a few interviews and all the interviews flop, you have to learn from the mistakes, improve a lot for the next time. Now, you have to have a capacity of assessing yourself. Attend mock tests, mock interviews. Why we are attending mock interviews? Because it will give you the weaknesses of yours, strength of yours, in what area you have to concentrate on. All these things will be getting to you after a successful mock interview. So, this will definitely strengthen your final interview. That is why people go for mock interview. If you are appearing for a test, for example, national eligibility test or NEET, whatever it is, if you are taking some tests, there are lots too. The type of questions, the time, is it required, is it essential? Yes, it is essential. You have to plan in terms of time. Are you able to manage within the stipulated time? That is the question here. Similarly, what are the areas you have to focus on more? What type of preparation you need further? All these will be getting through mock tests and mock interviews. Accordingly, you polish and strengthen yourself as a potential candidate. Similarly, we have many opportunities, as I have highlighted earlier, MOOCs, massive open online courses. So, these days massive open online courses are very popular, and platforms like edX and Coursera or FutureLearn, we have very specific courses. For example, I can highlight how to prepare a curriculum vitae, preparing a cover letter even, flops in interview, do's and don'ts in interviews, writing a profile, writing a proposal, write your dissertation. These are some of the very specific value added courses to students, everyone can join. So, accordingly identify some of the relevant courses specifically required for your enrichment, then join for that. This is my today's presentation. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.